Hello and welcome to another VerbLink class. Tonight's topic is pronunciation, focusing on the three sounds of the ed suffix. We'll get started shortly once students arrive in the class. Hello, Helicio, I see you're there. Why don't you join us in the class? So what's tough about the ed suffix? Well, it depends. For some, this is easy. For others, not so easy. What makes the ed suffix difficult is there's three different pronunciations depending on the spelling of the root word. For example, if the root word ends in a T or D, such as end, we pronounce it as id, ended. Now, if the root ends in something different, such as work, we don't use id. It would be worked, and that just doesn't sound right, so we'd say worked with a t sound, the voiced t sound. Hi, Francis.
Hi, teacher.
How are you?
Hi, very well, thank you. And you?
Good, good. Are you excited for pronunciation class tonight?
Yes, because I had many difficulties with the pronunciation.
Okay, well, excellent. We'll get started with today's lesson in a little bit. But first, how was your weekend?
No good because my cell phones messed it up. Now I processed the company say me they need to back phone and they will give me another phone. And I have to wait for 7 or 8 days for to have another phone number, another cell phone.
Well, that's a long time.
Yes, it's very
Wow.
bad.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Well, my weekend was pretty good, although I've got a problem.
Yeah.
My wife has become addicted to baking.
Baking.
She won't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just won't stop. Uh-oh. Hey,
Why? Why?
Francis, who just joined us in the class?
Uh,
Hi,
what?
teacher.
Hi, Joseph.
Hi, teacher.
What happened? I haven't
How are
seen
you?
you in a month.
Yes, I couldn't attend to your classes.
I know, I missed you.
Yes. But now I'm here. I'm here to learn something new.
Excellent. Were you really busy, or was it just you weren't interested in the topics?
Sometimes uh, I wasn't interested.
Okay, well, it's always good to give me feedback because I only teach what you guys are interested in. Well, welcome to class. We'll get started shortly. I find that some people either do very well with this, or others, or have a lot of trouble with it. Why is it very important to understand how to say the ed suffix? What is important about the ed suffix?
Because help to different to recognize different sounds and different words, understand the people what they say.
Well, that's true, but also we use it to create words in the past participle, right?
Yeah.
So it's used a lot in our language. Unfortunately, and I don't know why, but we have 3 different sounds associated with it. Many students make the mistake of saying ed. Never. We never say ed. We say id, t, or d. Sounds strange, but we have 3 different sounds. And I'll give you a quick example. So we have the root word here is interest. And if we say add the ed suffix to it, we have the id sound, so it becomes interested. Okay? With me so far? Good. Now this is where it starts to get a little more complicated. In the intro, we talked about this word. If we want to take end and put it in the past, we add the ed suffix. But the sound we use in this case, well, it's a little different. All right? Does anybody know which sound we use here?
Ended.
That's a T sound and the finish.
No, it isn't actually. It's also the id. And id. Okay? We always say if the root word ends in a T or a D. Always. So a little bit of a trick there I threw you, so write that down. If it ends in a T or a D, and we're talking about the root here, then it's id. Okay? So let's look at a different word, open. If I want to add ed to this one, guess which sound we use this time? Well, it's the d, the voiced d. Our vocal folds here will vibrate. That's why we say it's voiced. So it's opened.
And
Open. Yeah. Not open ed, not open id, but opened.
open.
Opened.
Yeah. Now I can tell you that sounds perfectly normal for me. So let's give you another example here. Look plus ed. You can probably guess it's the last example. T, looked. Not looked.
Look.
It's like work.
Looked.
Yeah. Okay, now right there I've basically given you the whole class. What we're going to do now, though, is we're going to take a lot more time and go through the examples. Because it's easy to work on a larger screen, I'm going to go into Google Drive. And I'm going to work from Google Drive. So guys, please open up Google Drive. It's on the left side of your screen. And I'm going to give some examples. So first of all, let's go back to the id sound. Okay. As I mentioned, the id sound for the ed suffix only occurs when the root word ends in a T or a D. And I've given us some examples here. I'm going to erase them shortly because I'm going to test you guys. But let's take a look at the first one. Francis, could you say the first word, please?
I can open the new window, the Google Drive. I don't know why.
Oh dear, you're having trouble. Okay, well, take about a minute. I'll come back to you, but open Google Drive. It's on the left, and then click on Google Notes. I have no control over if it doesn't work, and if that doesn't work, I'll try something else for you. Alicia, what's the first word?
Ended.
Ended. And what is the root word?
D.
No, the root word.
The root word ed, e-i-a-d.
No, what is a root word, Alicia?
The root word is ed sound in the Finnish.
No.
Like ed.
No, the root word is the root of a word. So we remove any suffixes or prefixes, and that's what we're left with. So the root word of ended is end. It's very important for you guys to understand this, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to differentiate between the three sounds. So if we look at the root word end, Alicio, what is the final consonant?
D.
Yeah. Okay. Joseph? What is the root of the second word?
Expect.
Expect, exactly. And the final consonant in that word?
Final consonant?
Yes, what is the final consonant?
Expect.
No, the final consonant of the root word.
It.
T, yeah. So here we go. This is important here, and I've written this above. If the root of the word ends in a T or a D, the final consonant being a T or a D, we always say id. Okay, so let's take time going through the words. Stefan.
Hi.
Hi. Could you please say the next word, please?
Invited.
Invited. Excellent
Invited.
pronunciation. And what is the root word?
Invite.
Invite. Ending
Would
with a
be
T.
invite.
Yeah, very good. Keiko, what is the next word? Keiko? All right, nothing from Keiko. Helicio, the next word. What is the next word?
Printed.
And the root word, please?
Prints.
Excellent. And it ends with a what letter?
Yes.
Okay.
T or D.
Yeah, and you said it perfectly well. Printed. Right? So we've got ended, expected, invited, and printed. All of these words have the T or D sound. Now I'm going to make it a little more difficult here. Just a little bit more difficult. The next three words, Joseph, could you say the next three, please?
Okay. Hate. Interested. Lasted.
Yeah, id sounds. Hated, interested, and lasted. Stefan, if you could say the next three words, please.
Just it's loading the document, so I can't see. It's
Sorry, you're breaking up. Stefan, hello? Okay. Keiko, are you back with us? Okay. Francis.
I can open the Google Drive. I don't know why this is preparing the application, but when I open the screen say is a wrong to share the application. I don't know why.
Okay, well, I pasted them in the group chat so you can read them there.
Okay.
Could you read them, please?
Hated, interested.
No, the last three.
The last three: painted, reported, start.
The last one again, please.
Started.
Started. They all have the it sound. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you to stay on mute when you're not speaking because there's a lot of background noise, okay?
Okay.
All right, the next three words, please go ahead, Helicio.
Grated, toasted, and tasted.
It again. Grated, toasted, tasted. Say one more time, please.
Grated, toasted, tasted.
Tasted. Excellent. All right, let's hope Keiko can hear us now.
Yes, teacher.
There we go. Sometimes the teacher feels that students don't like him anymore and just leaving, but I know you guys have a lot of connection problems from time to time. As do I. Yeah, I know I had a bad problem a week ago. I couldn't get online for half an hour. All right, Keiko, I posted three words. What are those three words?
Objected, needed, decided.
Excellent. So id, I want you to repeat after me one more time, please. Objected.
Objected.
Needed.
Needed.
Decided.
Decided.
Okay. Oh, just decided.
Decided.
Perfect. Excellent. Well said. All right, now we're back to Francis. And the next three words, Francis, please go ahead. Oh. Hello, Francis? Right, Helicio, could you go ahead with the next three words, please?
Okay, Simon. Sounded, started, and fainted.
Sounded.
Started.
Sounded.
Fainted.
Sounded.
Sounded.
Excellent. You guys are nailing. You're nailing it. Okay. But we're on the easy part. This is where it starts to get a lot more complicated when we go to the next one. Joseph, please go ahead. Those three words.
Wounded, landed, needed.
Excellent, sir. So just let me hear you say landed again.
Landed.
Excellent. Okay, now we're going to focus on the D sound. This is what we call a voiced sound, because if you put your fingers here and you say D, you feel a vibration. All right? If you don't feel a vibration, you're not doing it right, and let me know. Okay? So we looked at an example earlier. Opened. Okay, and it's opened, right? Opened. Now this is tough. But does anybody know when to use the D sound, what is the final consonant in the root word?
The final consonant.
Yeah, so in the first example, if it was a T or a D, it was always id. So for the D sound, does anybody know what consonant, what the final consonant has to be the D sound?
Because it's a voiceless.
Well, the D is voiced, right?
ID is unvoiced, correct?
D is voiced. Go ahead, put your fingers here and say D.
Open.
D. You'll feel a vibration. Now say t, t, t. You'll notice there's no vibration. So voiced, we say voiced because there's a vibration. So D is voiced. All right, Joseph.
I pronounce the word.
No, the question was, what is the root of opened?
Open. Open.
Thank you. And what is the final consonant?
N.
Right. So if the final consonant is N, then we always say D, right?
Well, I'm not sure.
We do. Okay. So if the final consonant is N, we would say D.
Okay.
Okay, Keiko.
Opened.
What about this word?
Learned.
Okay, what is the root word?
Learned.
Learn, exactly. And once again, we have an N, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Francis. What is this word? Okay, it looks like Francis isn't paying attention. Alicio, what is this word?
Realized. Realized.
Okay, and what is the word? And the root word is realize, right?
Realize.
And what is the final consonant?
D.
Nope.
D.
Nope.
Realize. Final consonant is D.
No, it isn't. There's no D there.
It's Z. Z.
Yeah, the Z, or S if you're British English.
Z. Z.
Yeah, you don't have to
Realize.
sound it, but it's the Z, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now again, it could be an S if it's the British spelling. So here, with a Z, it's D, realized. Okay. So an N and a Z, that's not hard to remember, is it?
Oh, sorry, Simon. I talk about Z, but it's Z in English.
That's okay. Americans say Z too. The rest of us use Z. And even French, in French they say Z as well too. It's interesting, but we won't get into the root of phonetics and sounds. Looking at the next word here, Joseph, what is that word?
Breathe. Breathe. Breathe.
I don't hear the consonant.
Is like think.
No. Okay. So can you say the whole word for me? I didn't hear the suffix.
Breathe. Breathe.
No, that's the root word.
Breathe. Breathe. Breathe.
Okay. So what is the sound we're practicing right now?
D. The
No.
D.
D. Right?
Da.
Okay.
Breathe. Breathe.
Breathed. Perfect. Yeah, that's it. Breathed. This is the root word, and what does it end in? What's the final consonant?
Z. Z.
What's the final consonant? You don't sound it out, just spell it out. What's the final consonant here?
TH.
Yeah, the TH. Okay. So far, we know that if it has an N or a Z or a TH, we use the D sound, right? Okay, guys, are there any other words that use the D sound that have a different final consonant? Is anybody watching in Google Drive? Because the answers are right there. Keiko, what's that word? How do we say that word, Keiko? Keiko?
Sorry, teacher. Changed.
Changed, yeah.
Changed.
And what is the root word?
G.
Sorry, no, the root word.
I don't understand, teacher.
Okay. Can somebody explain to Keiko what the root word is?
Change.
No, but
Chen.
why is it
Chen.
change?
10.
Okay, I wasn't asking for the answer, but can somebody explain why change is the root word?
Okay, because G is unvoiced.
No.
An unvoiced sound.
Okay, Joseph, what is a root word?
I think it is the present verb, the verb in the present form. I'm guessing.
That's actually very good. The root word has no suffixes or prefixes. Okay?
Okay, root word.
So look at this word here, unchanged. Now here we have both a suffix and a prefix, but the root word is still change. Okay? In fact, we can't break up change any further. That's the smallest it gets. Kind of like prime numbers. Prime numbers cannot be divided. So we have the root word, which is change, right, Keiko? And you guessed this correctly. What is the final consonant there?
E.
That's the final vowel. What's the final consonant?
Yes, the word is ended in a vowel. That
Right, but
like all the other vowels is voiced. And
okay,
then,
the question, that's not the question though. The question is, what is the final consonant?
G.
Yeah. We're focusing on the consonants here, not the vowels.
Sorry,
okay?
teacher.
So it's okay. So look, we've got 4 of them to remember now. Is this getting a little more difficult?
Yes, can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For it was just T or D, right? Okay, I'm going to show you something. When the root word ends with the consonants B, G, L, M, N, R, V, Z, or TH, we use the D sound. Now this is not easy to remember, guys. It can be done, but it takes time. What's worse is to remember the T sound. We have to remember all these. T. The root word ends in a F, K, P, S, X, C, T, H, C, H, T, H, or S, H. Joseph, does that seem very difficult to remember?
Yes, teacher, it seems.
It is very hard.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. If I didn't speak English as my native language, I would give up at this point. I'd say this is too difficult. But I'm going to make it a little easier for you. Now, if you don't have any trouble with the ED sound, then this is not a problem for you. And you've already learned it. However, if you are having trouble, I'm going to teach you a really easy way to get started. Let's go back to the id sound. Okay? Let's hear it. Id. Id. It sounds very different than both t and d. In fact, listen to these two. T, d, t, d. They're very similar. Very, very similar. Whereas id is very different. So the one thing I would want you guys to practice starting today, and try it for a week or two, look for a final consonant of T or D in the root word. And know those have to be id. Everything else doesn't use id or ad. Remember that. Everything else will use a t or d. Now, most native English speakers are relatively lazy when it comes to that final sound. Now, this is what I call a cheat. Okay? I'll get back to the lesson plan in a bit, but I'll tell you why this is a cheat. If I say married, did I say a t or d sound? Married.
IG. IG.
No, it wasn't an ID. It would be
No, oh, sorry. Married.
married.
Married. Married.
Yeah, but which sound did I use? T or d?
D.
Yeah.
D.
But was it hard to hear?
Married.
I didn't say married. I said married.
Married.
It was very soft, wasn't it?
Married.
But we know that married is a d sound. Now I'm going to say another word, and I want you to tell me whether I used a t or d sound, okay? Tried.
IG. Tried.
Right. Right.
Each sound.
No, there's no id. Okay, so Alicio, what two consonants would generate an id sound?
It sounds D. T or D.
Yeah, and
Try.
there's no T or D, is there?
Try.
Okay. So somebody guessed it right. You said D, right? The D sound. Well, you're correct. That's what you should do. But I actually said the T sound. Listen again. Tried.
Tried. I learned about three holes, about 3 months on verbally. I never saw about.
Well, that's good. But I want to know who guessed it was a D sound. Who guessed it was D sound? All right, so nobody's owning up to it. Well, we'll keep going then. All right, next word. Rubbed.
T.
EG.
T.
Yeah. What should it be?
I saw. I talk about EG. D.
It should be the D. But I said T. So let's try. I'm going to just try something out. I'm going to try rubbed with all three sounds, and I want you guys to tell me which one sounds the worst, okay? Rubbed, rubbed, rubbed.
The last. Rubbed.
Okay. Joseph?
The middle.
Okay. Keiko?
with D sound because B is unvoiced.
Okay, it's actually the id. Rubbed just doesn't sound right in English. Okay, now if I say rubbed or rubbed, people
Rubbed.
won't even notice that you're not saying it right. Like married or married. There's a slight difference there between the d and the t. Now married or married just doesn't sound right. I'll give you an idea. Saying married is like walking outside naked. Everyone's going to notice. But if you say married with a d sound or married with a t sound, and it's soft, people aren't going to notice as much. It's like walking outside with a warm jacket on. People might notice, but not if it's a small jacket, right? So here's a little cheat I want you guys to learn. Always, always use id for words ending in t or d. Always. Sorry, I don't even know why I said that. That doesn't make any sense. Always use id where the root ends in, okay? All the others, if you use t or d, people aren't really going to notice that much. It'll sound more relaxed. It'll sound smoother. Okay? Remember, this is a cheat.
Teacher,
Yes.
maybe we could make some analogies with, for example, words that aren't verbs. For example, fact.
Mm-hmm.
K, T. It is not a verb, but it exemplifies the use of K, the sound of K with T.
Okay, well, the use of mnemonics can help. But the reason why I want to show you this cheat is it helps you identify the main difference in pronunciation, which is with root words ending with a T or a D, and it's always id. Okay, that's the easiest part. The others is where we have to do all the work.
I have some difficulty to
Yes.
identify, to differentiate voiced and from unvoiced sounds.
Me too, it's normal.
Well, and there's a reason why. If you listen carefully to North American speakers, you'll find that the trailing consonants are quite often, I wouldn't say silent, but almost non-existent. In fact, even medial consonants are quite soft. Let me give you an example. How do you say this word? I can't spell it all, so that doesn't help. How do you say that word, Kcal?
Mountain.
Okay, Helicio?
Mountain.
Thank you, Joseph.
Mountain. Mountain.
Right. This is how most North Americans say it. Mountain. Mountain. What am I not saying?
The sound is very, very light.
Mountain.
Sounds very, very lightly.
Mountain.
Yeah, it's almost as though it's not there at all, right?
Mountain.
And you hear this a lot in casual conversation.
And you don't pronounce the T at the middle, right?
Well, I do. I always say mountain, but most people don't. They say mountain. I live in a city, and how do I say this city, Joseph?
Mm, Toronto? Toronto?
So you said Toronto. Good. Okay. Alicio?
Toronto.
Toronto. Okay.
Toronto.
KCal? KCal?
Toronto.
All right. The proper way is to say Toronto. Most locals say Toronto.
Toronto.
Toronto. Toronto.
Toronto.
It's true.
I
Hold
hear,
on.
I hear that from other teacher here.
Really, say Toronto.
Yes,
And you notice that they're a little lazy with some of the trailing consonants?
yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so let me get back to, so there's a point I'm trying to make here. Okay? Most native English speakers in North America are lazy when it comes to their trailing and sometimes medial consonants. So that's ending and middle. So when we're focusing on the ED sound, if you're very soft with the final consonant, when it comes to either t or the voiced d, people aren't going to notice you're saying it wrong. Okay? I know this sounds like a cheat, but I'm teaching you how the average person speaks. But when it comes to the id sound, that's very noticeable. If the root word ends in a T or a D, you have to say id. And yes, ID, id, not ED, which is ed. We never say ed, unless it's a person's name, which is short for Edward. Okay, it's always id. So now what I want to do is I want to read some words to you. These all have the D sound. You might want to go on mute. Sorry, let me do this again. There we go. You might want to go on mute, and then you can read along with me. But all of these words are the D sound. I'm going to enunciate clearly so you can tell the difference. Opened, learned, realized, breathed, changed, rolled, arrived, married, studied, tried, climbed, rubbed, married, studied, stuffed. Okay? It's half of them. Now I'm going to be lazy and listen to how they sound. Opened, learned, realized, breathed, changed, rolled, arrived, married, studied, tried, climbed, rubbed, married, studied, stuffed. Much softer. Much, much softer. But that's using the D sound. Now with the T sound, the voiceless, we use that with these words. Ended. No, that's not it. I copied the wrong. Boy, I'm really stupid tonight. Let's copy the other ones, the right ones. Looked, the T sound, right? Walked, passed, worked, looked, talked, liked, stopped, crashed, laughed, watched, laughed, kicked, typed, liked, kissed, etc. Again, if I'm softer, and again, this is how most people will talk, if I'm speaking in public, if I'm doing formal speaking, then I'll be a lot more precise. But if I'm with my friends, I might talk this way. Looked, walked, passed, worked, talked, liked, stopped, crashed, laughed, watched, laughed, kicked, typed, liked, kissed. So you might be wondering, well, doesn't it make it difficult to understand? No, because of context. Last night, he watched TV. Well, we're talking about last night, so you know I'm in the past, and watched TV. Well, if it's something you did in the past, your brain automatically knows it's past tense. But if you want to know how to say or when to say the D sound? Sorry guys, I've got a really bad computer tonight. It won't copy. All right, so I'll just have to retype them out. So if the root word ends with a B, a G, L, M, N, R, V, or TH, it's the D sound. Now, as Keiko mentioned, you can create mnemonics to try and learn this. What I think works better is you just practice. The more you practice, the more your brain will just figure it out. I don't know these rules, guys. I really don't. I don't care. When I learned English, they didn't teach us this. They taught us grammar. They taught us tongue twisters. But they didn't tell us when to say t, d, or id. It will come naturally. The key is just to practice. Which is why I want you guys to copy down what I have here. And you can use it to practice. It's the stuff I have in Google Drive.
We can practice maybe with maybe by listening to some news on the internet with CNN or BBC.
Yes, exactly. Be very careful who you listen to, because like I said, the average North American softens their medial and trailing consonants. Those are bad examples. Okay? If you really want to learn properly, CNN, BBC, CBC, or science documentaries. These all work very well. You just listen and practice. The more you speak, the better you'll get. As all of you know, most of my classes focus on conversation. So focus on classes that allow you guys to speak with pronunciation correction. So if you come to my academic English class, and if you say the word wrong, I'll correct you. Okay? As you can see from what I pasted in Google Drive and what I put in group chat, there are far too many examples for you to memorize. Okay? Sorry, Francis, I got to mute you. There's too much background noise. Okay, so T and D sounds. There's over 12 different letters that require either a T or a D sound. It's very difficult. Focus on the id sound with a T or D. What I would do is this lesson plan that I've created tonight, you can see it in Google Drive, copy it, save it on your computer, and then practice it once a day until you feel you're good at it. In the meantime, keep up taking classes where you get to spend a lot of time talking. Here's another little thing too. We as humans naturally start to absorb the right way of things being said. When we learn our own native languages, we just pick up the right way to say consonants, the right way to say suffixes and prefixes. Yes, some were taught, but many of them we just learned from listening to others. And that's a large way of how people absorb this one. Hi, Francis. I see you're back with us. Or maybe not. For those who can't get into Google Drive, I've just pasted the entire lesson article in group chat. Now, as you can see, it looks very messy. Very, very hard because there's no line breaks or anything. No, and I tried pasting it in Verbling chat to it. It's the same thing. So I hope you guys can get it out of the Google Drive class notes. Do you guys have any questions for me so far? I'm not sure that I've made it very clear.
Oh, that's okay, Simon.
Clear, but
It's very complicated, but it's okay.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Alicio. Yes, it is complicated, but what is one thing you've learned from today's lesson?
Many things, but I have since I entered in the Verbalink, and I have many notes about the ED sounds in my house, in my work. I have little notes to
Okay, so
remember.
what is one thing you've learned today, though?
About words finish in suffix in T or D.
Yes.
I need to use each sound,
Excellent.
and words finish in and voiced sounds
Well,
like voiced or unvoiced.
well, if you hold your fingers to your throat, if you hear vibration, that means it's the voiced. So D would be voiced,
Voiced.
right?
Okay. Voiced. I finish with D.
Yeah.
Like
But what I really recommend, Alicia, because I know you speak Portuguese, and Portuguese speakers really have trouble with the ed suffix because of the three sounds.
Yes.
So what
I
I
agree.
hear a lot of Portuguese speakers say is they say ed all the time. Stop it. Work it.
Yes. We
Wrong.
have less information in Brazil when I learned English about ed sounds. I never saw.
Well, and here's what you need to do. Whenever the only time, you never say ed. Never, ever. This is important. Never, ever say ed.
Yes.
Okay? Never. If somebody says you do, you say, no, you're wrong. Now you'll say id, which is the closest to ed, only if the root word ends in a T or a D. That's the main thing I want you to get tonight, guys. It's the one thing that's easy to remember.
This is my whole.
If you do that, then you know everything else has to be a T or D.
Yes.
And as I've already explained, if you try a D where it should be a T or a T where it should be a D,
and Simon,
most people won't notice.
Teacher,
Sorry, yes, K-Cows?
Simon, I have a question.
Yes, Joseph.
How do you pronounce the word that I type?
Well, I'm going to ask you how it should be. Well, Alicio just answered. Alicio, why is it id?
Oh, I don't know. It's automatically. I remember the
Okay, Alicio.
printed is finished T sound. D or T is ID. EG sound. Printed.
Okay, so why is it id?
Like
Why is it id?
because is the root is printed like T in the final. Oh no.
Okay, so let me go to somebody else. Keiko, how do we say the word that Joseph just typed out?
how do I spell?
No, he's already
I-
spelled it. How do you say it?
I am trying to understand the word that he said.
No, he didn't say it. He typed it.
typed.
Yeah. So how do you say the word that he typed? Are you guys listening to me?
No, hit. The word hit. The word.
Are you watching group chat? Are you watching what the other students are typing?
Joseph,
Yeah, what did Joseph just type?
your word is hit.
I don't even see that.
Print, the past.
Ah, okay. I understood. Thank you. Printed, because the root word ends with the T sound,
Exactly.
and then it would be strange to speak printed, a
Perfect.
sound
Yeah.
T followed by D.
Excellent. So Joseph, there's your answer. Because it ends with a T, it would be id, making it printed.
Printed. That's right. Printed.
Yep.
I'm pronouncing well. Printed.
Okay, Helicio. Oh, hold on. Helicio, you wrote the word what? What word did you write?
Washed.
Okay. What should that one be, guys?
Washed. Washed.
Washed.
T sound.
Yeah. Well, it's the SH, right? And if it's an SH, it's the T, the voiced. Sorry, unvoiced. Can tell I didn't get much sleep last night. Keiko, I see you're writing them out there. Okay, yeah. So it's because it has the SH that it's T. Now you can always very simply write down on a piece of paper all the words that use the T sound. They have an F, K, P, S, X, CH, TH, and SH. Okay? So this is a good little technique to remember. Any other questions? Okay. I know this is not the easiest one, and I offer this class quite a bit because I know it is a difficult one. The
Teacher.
one thing I want you to take away today is that if the root word has a T or a D, use id, not ed. Never use ed. Yes?
I think the hardest are the words finished with TH.
Well, that was a class I offered last week. Now, where are you from? Keiko, Brazil?
Brazil.
Okay. Yeah, if you speak Portuguese, yeah, the TH would be difficult. You don't say TH, you more say the D. Right?
Yes, in Portuguese we don't have the TH sound as English people say.
No, you don't. And what I can do is next week I can focus on the TH sound again, if you like, which has the T and D combined. Right?
Could you give us 2 examples with sounded and with voiced and unvoiced TH?
Well, I just gave you the tips on saying it right, but for example, if we want to focus on D, we would say them, themselves, these, their, then, okay? These are what we call function words. Whereas if we focus on the voiceless, these are words like north, both, three, through, thief, thin, thorn. They're the voiceless. Okay? Them, themselves, these, they're voiced. You can feel the vibration. So I'll offer that one again next week. Worthed, What is that word? I've never seen that before. You mean worked? I don't believe that's a word. Oh, I just noticed, guys, if you have another class to attend, it's 9 o'clock at this point, or 8 o'clock. So you don't want to be late for your other class. Thank you for coming. I'll offer the ED class again. I did it a little differently tonight because many of you couldn't access Google Drive. I'm not sure that this is my best class for the ED sound. I'm going to do it differently next time, but next class on pronunciation will be the TH sound. It's much less complicated. However, because it's not a sound you're used to, we'll focus on the construction, and I'll give you guys exercises to help you. I haven't booked it yet, but I'll do it next week. You're welcome, guys.